That is beautifully played.
Are you a cricket lover with development skills and a thirst for innovation? ICC is back with Next in 2.0, a groundbreaking global cricket hackathon.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, an absolute beauty.
Register now to be part of the revolution and redefine how fans experience the game.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone, from people who have joined us across the global states. Right? It's an honor to welcome all of you to today's AMS session of Next in 2.0. My name is Shakti Sen. I'm part of Hack to Scale, and I'm thrilled to guide you through the exciting discussion that awaits us tonight. So before we dive into the heart of this event, let's set the stage for the incredible journey that lies ahead, right? This gathering marks the fusion of cricket and technology, promising innovation and groundbreaking ideas. So before we begin with today's AMS session and the discussion about this hackathon overall, I would like to introduce our mentor for the day. So please join me in welcoming a visionary leader, friend Bradshaw, who is the head of digital at International Cricket Council. Previously, he led the digital strategy for Australia Open at Tennis Australia and established Cricket Australia's digital program. Way before that, he worked across magazines and digital for News Corp. So join hands together for welcoming Finn with us.
Hey Shakti, hello everyone on the stream. Great to see you all.
Hi Finn, how's it been?
It's it's hectic. We've got a World Cup starting in less than 2 weeks now. The first warm-up games this Friday. So the digital team is pretty frantic at the moment with all the last-minute preparations. It's always a challenge with a big event, but with a World Cup in India, you want to make sure every box is ticked. So I've just snuck out of the room just for a little bit to spend some time here and left the guys, madly trying to pull everything together for an amazing 7 weeks or so we've got ahead of us.
Awesome. So we would thank you so much for sparing us time for this session here and guiding all the developers across India who are also excited to contribute to the sports technology front. So we would love to know more about this initiative from your end, and what's the vision behind, what are we expecting from the developers, so that you can just walk us through, and maybe we can kickstart post that with the questions that are coming ahead. And yeah, so over to you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And yeah, I'd really echo that. Like, I really hope everyone here takes the opportunity to ask specific questions. I can give you some general stuff, but I think you'll get the most out of it if you've got specific things you need to know from us. And even if we can't answer things immediately here today, hopefully we can get back to you. But yeah, more generally, the reason why we're so excited to partner with NIUM on the hackathon is we love the idea of getting the best minds, across the world, focusing their attention on cricket. And we've seen that outcome already from Hackathon 1.0 that we held back earlier this year in Bangalore. We're the winning team from that for NISCO, who presented an AR stats experience, which allows you to basically put like the stadium on your table and view it through your phone, and you can move around it and see all the stats happening in real time. You'll actually be able to see that in the ICC app, in the World Cup this year. So we're really proud that when someone wins a hackathon, it's not just about them getting their big novelty-sized check, which that's exciting as well, but also that we will work with you to get that product ready for for production, and we'll find opportunities to actually bring that to the world. And so I think that's where we really sort of pride ourselves that we follow through on this, that we'll do everything with you through the process by working through you with mentors and everything like that, but also post the event, our intent is to produce things that make things better for the cricket fan and cricket players across the world. Now, where this 2.0 is a bit different to the last one, excuse me, is while the first one was really focused around fan engagement, this one we've wanted to broaden it out, because we were thinking about, if you're a cricket lover, obviously watching on TV or watching the stadium is part of your experience with cricket, but there's also a whole lot else to your involvement with the game. And so we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could get people's brain power focused on also solving some other issues? So there's still a track that's focused on fan engagement, and we really are excited to see what people bring on that and how they're going to leverage technology to improve that. But we've also broadened it this time to include two other tracks. One is around grassroots cricket, and with that we're really thinking about how do you help mums and dads or kids who are just starting out, or coaches who are with really young kids, how to use technology to improve experiences for people who are learning the game. They're quite early on in their career, they're learning the basics. How can we best use technology to take that to a large group of people? And then we've got a track that's around high performance, and that's people at the other end of the scale. It's people who are players who've already got to a high level, but there are thousands of teams across the world that can't draw on the resources that the professional teams do. But we feel like surely technology can democratize that in some way. So again, how can we use technology to provide the kind of insights and analysis that at the moment professional level players get, and how can we bring that to the world? Or maybe other ideas. But that's sort of where our thoughts were when we thought up these three tracks. And so we're hoping that this sparks a whole range of other ideas with students and developers and entrepreneurs right across the world to be able to bring their talent and skills to cricket in a range of really engaging ways.
That was really insightful. Thanks for elaborating on the problem statement front. I just wanted to put across in technology front that we have three themes across for this challenge, for this particular hackathon, which Finn has already talked about: can also check out the website in terms of you want to know the technologies that lies behind. So we've got three themes, which are performance analytics, fan experience, and cricket at grassroots. So what we are talking about here is in performance analytics, we are looking into submissions related to AI, ML, data science, which are some of the technologies that you can work upon, right? Related to fan experience, we can always go ahead and look into aspects where we can integrate AR, VR, Web3, and immersive technologies, right? That can transform fan experiences. And lastly, cricket at grassroots, as already Finn has given us a broader aspect of what is expected out of it. So you can always go ahead, look into aspects of fintech mergers, and you can also look into blockchain as a technology front. So yeah, adding up to that, we have a lot of people coming up with questions and ideas on the front. Maybe we can start picking up questions there.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah, we can. So before we do that, Finn, what I would need is spare us 2 minutes so that I can help people understand the next steps from here. Now that the submissions are really close, we would want to address that first, and maybe we can take up the questions 2 minutes, right? Let me just
Sounds
quickly
great.
pull up the screen. Yes, it is there. Okay. So you guys have already registered for the hackathon. That's very great of you. And those who have still not registered and looking forward to opportunities and what they are left behind, what is there for them to register, you can always check out the website here and you can register before 29th. So we've got a hefty amount of prize money this year, which is a crash prize worth of $20,000, right? And you can always look into investor opportunities if you are a startup organization, if you're looking to build a startup into the sports technology front. So these are the brief challenges. You can read about them more on the website, which is performance analytics, fan experience, and cricket at grassroots. So if you walk down through the website, we had conducted 2 other meetups. Here are your jury panels, which will be there for you to, you're going to present it in front of them. You get a chance to meet Anil Kumble, Finn in person, right? So while you're shortlisted, you get to, talk with Finn, Anil Kumble, and other jury members who will be part of the, hackathon panel itself. So when you move ahead, this is the phase that we are currently into on the timeline front. So the registration and the idea submissions closes on 29th. Post that, teams will be shortlisted and announced by 6th and 10th, right? There will be an induction session which will guide you through what are your next steps for the hackathon and what is expected out of you, right? So in terms of checkpoint on the screen that you see will be to get inputs from you. What are you trying to build and mark accordingly and give you feedback upon to move you on the right direction. Therefore, we have mentor-mentee connect. Mentor-mentee connect people, mentors from our side will be available throughout this particular phase of the days for you to help you out with in technology front as well as in building business aspects to the project. The final submission date is 24th, and the tentative there's an eliminated round wherein you guys have to present your ideas, your prototype, and whatever you have built in front of the jury members, wherein we will be shortlisting the final top 10 teams who will be there with us, with Finn, with Anil on the demo day itself, right? So that's the broader timeline of it, and you can always check that out. It's on website. You can check out the prize pool. It's not just about the winners. We are also rewarding all the ideas that are coming into place. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. So what I would now do is pull up quick questions that Finn can help us answer, and we can mutually go ahead with the AMA session here. If Finn, that's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let me just pick up a few questions that are commonly asked onto the screen, and I should be good. So we'll begin with the commonly asked questions. There are so now that people can see questions or maybe technologies on the website, which does not particularly say web developers. It says AR, VR, AI, ML technology front. So people are curious to know whether web developers can always participate or not, right? So just a couple of
So I think
questions.
just to be clear on this, like what we're looking for is for people to come with products. They don't need to be fully fledged products. They can be in the prototype phase. They can, if it's a good idea, it can be a fairly simple prototype. But we're looking for, we're not looking for just, developers to provide code. Like it should be, most of the finalists last time were teams from multiple disciplines where you'd have designers and product people and developers and so on. And I'd say my reflection on last time was really focus on that product side of things. Like what is the problem you're trying to solve? What is the market fit? Provide evidence around that. Just having good technology isn't enough. We're looking for a product that we can take to our audience relatively quickly, not just a really neat use of technology, because technology for technology's sake never gets anyone anywhere. It needs to be a product that's serving a need that's not currently addressed in the market.
Yeah, I hope that answers the question here. And also adding up to that, web developers, of course, you would need somebody to develop your prototypes, right? You can be part of a team wherein you can also contribute. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, I think like whether it's a web developer or an iOS developer or an Android developer, like someone needs to actually build the product at some point, and we're looking for people who can build it for sure.
absolutely. Sure. So we can take up the next question from here, which is somewhere related to the problem statement. So Tatya asked, what technologies and platforms can support the implementation of gamification features? So maybe is relating to gamification of maybe fan experiences. If you, Tatya, if you can just reiterate that question and be more specific about it, we can take up that question again.
Well, I mean, our current platforms are web, iOS, Android. We have a streaming platform, which uses connected TVs. If there's gamification, then ideally it works across all of those. I hope that answers the question. I'm not absolutely sure if that's what they're looking for.
Maybe they thought that you can rephrase your question and you can put it across again. We can take up that for. Let me pull up another question here. So this is related to historic fan engagement experience.
I've seen a few questions that are relating to that. The short answer is yes, we can provide some data. Obviously, we wouldn't provide like our entire historical data set, but let us think about it, and we can kind of provide a sort of subset. It might be just the data from one game or something like that, and we can probably provide the data, both ball by ball, but also maybe even Hawkeye data and things like that. So I think that like that makes sense, that request. Let us take that away and think about it, and then we'll back through Hack to School. We'll let you know. Probably might need to get you to sign something saying that you're not going to use it for any other purposes. But broadly, like we want people to be able to use data, so we'll find a way to get you a subset of data to use.
Yeah, that works. Maybe we can get back to you on the data part, and we can add that onto the Hack to Skill dashboard resources. You can fetch it from there for, and you can use it based on your experience feeding into your models. So yeah, let me just quickly. There's an interesting question coming in for you. So I have flashed it on the screen. Can you provide examples of past successful projects or solutions from previous ICC hackathons?
Well, we've only had one hackathon so far at the ICC, and that was Finisco, which was the augmented reality experience I was talking about earlier, where you use your phone and during the World Cup, say a match is being played at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, it'll create a rendering of the Wankhede Stadium that sits on your table, and then as balls come in, it shows you, each ball as it's happening in the stadium, and you can walk around it, so you can kind of engage with it as that happens. And so we thought it was a really nice visualization of data and sort of more engaging than just watching a flat wagon wheel, happen on, looking at it flat on your screen. So that was the winner of last time. And as I said earlier, you'll be able to access that through the ICC app for this World Cup, which we're really excited to be able to bring to everyone.
Yeah, we are also very excited to look into projects, maybe innovation front in fan experiences and other tracks as well, right? Which you can bring onto the table, not just copy it from the previous hackathons or any of your other lead fronts. Maybe you can bring in innovation that nobody has come up with before. So that is the highlighting point that should work out for you during the hackathon.
Yeah, that's right. Like I'm pretty sure if you bring us an augmented reality that displays live data, we're not going to be that excited this time.
So we've got another question coming in related to AR/VR. So he asked if fan experience track, it is compulsory to have AR/VR technology solution or some other product which is working for same fan experience and engagement can be considered for the same track.
Not quite sure what this one's asking, but I think it's not compulsory to have. You're not compelled to use any specific technology. We give you some suggestions of technologies that we think might be interesting, and things that we're obviously looking for things that kind of expand the fan experience beyond what currently exists in the market. But you don't have to use AR VR. You can use kind of any technology at your disposal.
Yeah, that works very. That answers. So it's not defined that you use AR/VR. So if you use AR/VR, that increases the fan experiences overall, because visually people are enlightened about what they see, right? That's increased the experience.
I mean, just use the technology that's right for your problem. Work out what your problem is, and if that technology solves it, then it's the right technology to use.
So I have another question. Maybe you can answer this. Bharat asked, are we allowed to tamper, modify broadcast videos, cricket videos, audios using AI to amplify fan engagement? Will it give sample video data?
Yeah, as long as it's ICC matches. Yeah, absolutely. With the intent that would be used on, we have the rights to use that video on ICC website and app. We don't have the right to use it on other people's ones. So let us think about what kind of video data we could give you. It might be easier if you sort of outline what that is, or maybe there's sort of some stage. But I think if you want to just, for the purposes of your demo, it might be easier if you just grab it off YouTube or something like that for the time being. And then we can maybe, as you get further down the track, we can provide you with higher quality video.
I guess that answers the question, Bharat, for you. So you can always use videos that are ICC branded. So we have that rights.
Yeah, I think from an ICC event. So any ICC World Cup.
Sure. So you guys can also use those videos, right? If you want to render it through AI tools, or you want to use it to increase fan experiences using those audios or visuals, you can always do that. But just make sure it is ICC branded so that we have the rights and we do not breach that. So we have a couple of more questions coming in terms of the hackathon timeline. So Mihir here asks about the mentor-mentee round. So maybe I can address that for you on behalf of Finn. So during the mentor-mentee round, so the mentors will be available for a particular time of the day wherein you can interact with them over a virtual meeting link, wherein you can ask your questions, doubts, and even if you're moving on the right direction with your project or not. Are you just being too much, you're giving thoughts on the project and you will not be able to implement it end of the day. So in those terms and those aspects, also on a technology front, so mentors will be available to assist you during the mentor-mentee rounds. which is scheduled from 28th to 29th of September. So yeah, I'll just pull up a interesting question that has come across. How can participate? Okay, so there's another question. So people are very interested into fan experience. Should the fan experience be created for live performance or pre-recorded matches? So what is
I think
expected?
my advice would be to go to live matches. The engagement around live is much higher than once a match is finished. People don't engage with them much. People always think there's something about people going back, but it's a very small percentage compared to people watching live. So my advice would be to focus on live.
Yeah, so absolutely. So that is undoubtedly a question. So live matches always have that high increment rate. So I hope you guys are getting that gist out of it, that you need to. So in terms of AR VR experience, whenever you see visually, you get more experience in terms of fans, right? As a fan, and
Yes.
if you go live with that, that adds up to it instead of just recorded videos. So interesting questions. Gopal has asked, what aspect should we be focusing on while formulating our solution? Like, should we have a business model or a really good solution just on technology front?
Yeah, I think so. Back to what I was saying earlier, like really do focus on that sort of product lens. What's the problem you're solving for users? What's your fit in the current market? So, I mean, I'm not asking you to do a full P&L of how you would commercialize this, and what's your revenue, what's your ARR going to be in the first 5 years. I'm not talking about that, but it shouldn't just be really beautiful technology. You should be able to talk to why would fans want to use it. What are you giving to them that they don't currently have? You need to be able to answer that question. I see a few people asking about the data set again, so we'll just repeat. We'll provide some data in the future that you can play with.
Sorry, am I audible?
Sorry.
Okay. Yes, no, I was just reiterating what you said, that we will be providing resources in terms of data for you to utilize that to train models, AI or ML, right, and give us solutions out of it. So that should not be a problem. We will be adding those in our resource section on the Hack to Skill dashboard.
Yeah.
So there's a question that comes across very frequently onto our support channels, as well as onto our other channels through which people are connected to us Hack to Skill. Startups and professionals who eventually provide solutions. When this is the question that comes from their end most priorly. So it's on the screen for you. So how will intellectual property rights be handled for solutions and developed? Because some startups are already working into sports technology, and they wouldn't want to pitch that into this hackathon. They're just curious to know about the IP rights. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll like the respondent, the ICC won't own the winning, won't have any rights to the IP and the winning outcome. But similarly, the winner won't have any rights to any ICC IP going forward. So winning this doesn't give you access to our data or to our video or things like that. But you'll retain the IP in your solution.
I hope that answers the question for you, Laksh. On similar lines, I have another questions coming in that is somewhat related to startup ecosystem and people who are looking forward to, propose their solution to build up a startup. So here, Shashank has asked, can you brief a little bit more about the funding opportunity that lies, from this hackathon?
Yeah, so we're doing something different this time compared to the first hackathon, where we will have an opportunity for the finalists to present to venture capitalists who are in the room on the day. That'll be a separate experience to the hacked us to the hackathon competition. The hackathon competition, will be naming the winning product on the day, but there'll also be an opportunity for those finalists to get a chance to meet and pitch to potential funders for them. And if something comes of that, that's between them and between the VCs and the finalists. The ICC won't be involved with that, but we're just presenting the opportunity for you guys to meet some people that maybe you wouldn't be able to meet otherwise.
That is the new flavor that we have added this year to ICC's hackathon. So you can check out all the details over the website. So we have broadly mentioned it, that what are the giveaways for you, what is there for you to take out from this season. So we can look into another aspect. There's a question related to the third problem statement, I truly believe, which is cricket at grassroots. Rakesh wanted to ask that will a more of hardware technology related to goal 3, which is eventually is trying to mention problem statement 3 third, like changing the cricket pitch altogether with several options, C2 without losing tempo of the game, maybe.
Yeah, we'd love to see some more hardware related pitches. Didn't mean pitches in that way. Proposals come through. But we would encourage that. And I think to talk about this one, I'm not exactly sure what Rakesh is sort of thinking of here, but one challenge I would throw it to the group around pitches is obviously climate change is having an effect. So, it will be more resource heavy to keep cricket pitches, to be able to maintain them going forward. But also, we're trying to grow cricket right across the world, and there's some countries where they don't have the cricket facilities that an India or Australia or England does, and so anything that makes it easier for those countries to have pitches that play well, I think would be an amazing, product to be able to deliver to them.
Yeah, so that's what we need, right? For this edition, we need innovation that can revolutionize cricket at grassroots, not only for the majorly played cricket countries, but also for growing ones, right? At the grassroots.
Exactly. Yeah, so don't just think about what's going to necessarily work for the millions of kids who already know cricket in India. What might work for the kids in like Cameroon or in Nigeria, where they don't have the same facilities and infrastructure that kids in mature cricket countries have. I think that would be really exciting if we could get some ideas for that.
Okay, that really gives us a little boost on the third problem statement. So related, Gopal also has asked similar question. I guess Gopal, your queries is addressed. So he also asked that can you suggest some important aspect that we should look into the cricket at grassroots track to make good solutions? I hope we have talked about it more. Maybe if you want to add something else into this, so
I think the main thing, like there, without you don't want to sort of influence it, but one problem that comes to mind is in those developing countries, how do you scale coaching? If I grow up in Australia and my kid wants to play cricket, there's a chance that there's a cricket club at the end of the street, but in Cameroon there isn't. And so, how do you scale coaching for those kind of countries where there isn't a huge cricket infrastructure? I think that's a really interesting problem to try and tackle.
that answers. So that adds up a lot to the third problem statement. I hope you guys are gaining much, insights about what we are expecting in terms of solutions, in terms of, what are you, expected to submit, not just technology, but business aspect to it, and what are the growth visions to it, right? So that's what we are expecting out of as a solution for this particular hackathon. So coming back, so we have another question coming in from Sahil. Sahil asked about, can we work on AI model for better on score prediction in seconds after rain interruption to overcome DLS drawbacks? Maybe.
Be our guest. I'm sure Professor Stern, who looks after DLS these days, probably would be prepared to defend his position. But Everything's open. If you can
Yeah,
prove that it's better.
we would love to look at this aspect and hear thoughts about it and what solutions you bring to the table. It would be
It's
really
harder
interesting.
than I would say. Like it's one of those things. Everyone thinks that they have got the solution to that. Just
Right?
think through all aspects of it.
Sure. So I hope, Sahil, that address your question. Let me just quickly look into some commonly asked questions so that we address for the crowd.
There's one I can see here that's about asking about can they build it to help fantasy players or gambling industry? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, fantasy is a huge part of the fan experience. You can build things that help get more people playing fantasy or help people be better fantasy players. That's a very valid thing to have a look at. We will probably stay away from gambling.
Yeah, we can do that. So I guess this is somewhat related to fan experience, I guess, or maybe performance analytics.
Yes, I mean I can't answer this question for you. You need to do your research to work out whether does the market, does the audience, do the fans want tracking and analyzing team performance, or they want fan? You need to be able to answer that.
Right. So I have people are very interested to know about Anil's presence. So here's a question for you: will
Yeah.
Anil be present at the time of the demo day? Not
I
only.
won't take it. I won't take it personally that no one's asking if I'll be there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to highlight, that Finn will also be there with us on the demo day itself. So we will also be able to meet Finn as well as Anil will also be there with us.
Yeah.
So
Well, what is it? We've got 560 test wickets between us. Yes, he'll be there on the day, and yeah, I'm really excited. I think he obviously amazing cricketer, one of the true legends of the game, but also someone who's been really interested in technology and how it can be applied to our sport for a long time now. So I would say he'll be bringing more value to the panel than just about anyone else, and we're really lucky to have him involved.
that's interesting. We would love to meet all of you there as a jury, and we also would wish you guys all the very best to make it to the finale rounds and to meet Finn and Anil in person. So all the very best, and I hope you guys participate and submit solutions at the right time before the deadlines, and get shortlisted for every phase of the hackathon, so that we can move ahead and meet you guys in person on the demo day. So so moving ahead with the AMA questions. So I have another round of quick questions.
So I've seen a couple of questions about connectivity in the stadiums. Now we know that not every stadium in the world, particularly not every stadium in India, has great Wi-Fi or great mobile connectivity. But for the purposes of it, assume you do have connectivity. We're not going to punish you because maybe there won't be connectivity. It would be great if you had like some kind of offline feature, if that makes sense. But you can just say, let's assume we have connectivity. Yeah, that's okay. You can make that assumption.
Okay. So this was one of the commonly asked questions which you already have answered to. So let me just pull up one question which I recently came across, which is related to, now people are asking more in terms of what are we expecting when from the first problem statement, which is performance analytics. What in particular are we looking forward in terms of solutions? This is somewhat I am reframing things out of 2-3 commonly asked questions. So people are trying to understand what what is the expectation from our end in terms of solutions about the first problem statement? If you can just highlight a couple of points.
The high performance track.
Yes.
Is that yeah?
Performance analytics, yes.
Yeah. So I think that's probably really thinking about how can technology improve a player's performance or a team's performance, and what is the best technologies to do that. Again, like I think you'll need to do some research to find out what's already in market and what would, if you developed it, what would become a strong product in that market. But I can't really sort of speak to what those solutions might be, but it is really focused around how can you get insights that you can pass to a player or a coach to improve the player's performance or the team's performance. And so it can be everything from technique to tactics to psychology, I guess. It could be any of those things. So I think have it. I'd encourage you to go and talk to coaches and to players and find out what they need. I've seen a couple of questions asking about sort of what kind of resources we might be able to provide. We'll provide travel for people who can make the final and accommodation, so you don't have to worry about that if you're successful in getting that far. But we're not in a position to be able to provide any other, like I saw someone asking about, could we provide resources around hosting, things like that. We're not in a position to be able to do that, but we will make sure you get to Mumbai for the final and have somewhere to stay.
So I've got another question for you, which has come from Prateek. He asked about, can we learn more about current technologies ICC is already incorporating and learn from previous hackathons, which really did improve the match? And so you want some example sets, like you mentioned about Finisco's, integration into ICC. So any other technologies front that you all guys are already using to engage, increase fan experiences and performance analytics?
Yeah, I guess some of the things we're looking at the moment, we are looking at a blockchain solution to create fan passports and fan wallets to sort of be a record of your life as a fan. Where we'll unveil a product on a gaming platform, a new product on a gaming platform in the next couple of weeks. It's really targeted at reaching younger kids. Like all sports are worried about how do you reach kids who are under 14. I think that's a really big issue for all sports. So, and obviously the gaming platforms are a place where kids spend a lot of time. So that might be worth thinking about, and it's certainly something we're thinking about a lot of the time. And then, how do you, the other thing is sort of how do you use the coming evolution of AI to sort of, solve pain points for people. We haven't really got a solution there, but we feel like there must be a lot of stuff out there that, how can we reduce the time people take to do things around cricket, and maybe that's around some of the nuts and bolts of cricket broadcast or things like that, and maybe AI can be transformative in that.
Right, that answers the question, I guess. I have another question coming in straight related to the development of the prototypes. So will ICC help prototype development, and in what way? Will it be financial mentorship, expert guidance, like insights from curators? Maybe if you can address that for us.
Yeah, so we do provide, once you're sort of through an initial screening period, we then provide access to mentors who will help you, will challenge your thinking and make sure you're sort of, your thinking is going down the right path. And there'll be people who've got great experience in the industry. And so, and I know last time the winners said they found that really valuable, and the time they got to spend with those mentors was something they really appreciated from the program. But, we aren't, as I said earlier, we can't provide any other resources such as, hosting or, any other kind of funding.
That answers that. I hope you guys are gaining a lot of insights from this AMA session, and while you are getting your questions resolved. We're also closing the idea submissions on 29th of this month. So make sure you're pushing across your ideas before the date so that it's just not an idea that is with you. You push it across to the ICC team so that we can have a look and you get shortlisted for the prototype round and therefore start building upon it so that you can get finalized. The demo day is there. You get to meet Fen and Anil in person and get to judge your idea from the experts here. So people are also asking about, Finn, you want to say something about it?
Yeah, I just saw a question there about do they need to develop the product from start during the hackathon? No, we expect you to come to the final with your product ready to go. So we expect you to be developing it throughout. It's not like a hackathon where you're locked in a room for 72 hours.
Right. So another great question that has come across from one of the startups, I truly believe, which is they wanted to ask, they already have an application or experience built in terms of fans, right? So they're into a phase where they want to pitch that idea to investors, potential investors, and raise funds out of it. So how are they supposed to? I mean, should they participate or not? And what is there for them to participate in this?
Well, I think obviously we think there's some kind of prestige from winning this, and so by saying that you're successful in this event could well help you be more successful in your fundraising attempts. And as I said, also the finalists will be introduced to VCs on the day of the final and have an opportunity to build a relationship with them.
I hope you guys have the answer to your question. There's another question coming in related to fantasy games. So Kaushik here asked about, can we build system or models to help fantasy players or gambling industries exclusively?
Yeah, not gambling. Obviously, fantasy in India sort of is on the cusp of gambling, but for fantasy, by all means.
So there's one question which we have already addressed, maybe that is for the masses now, which is about fan experiences into stadiums and related to Wi-Fi internet connectivity. So which is about app. So on your behalf, maybe I can reiterate that for them. So it's more about fan experiences in terms of AR visualizations, right? So you increase fan experiences whether or not it is in stadium, right? So you want to experience that match live from any place of the world. So that can be done, right? So adding up to that, maybe you, Fen, if you want to add anything more apart from that, feel free, please.
No, I think, it's the question about connectivity in the stadium.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions coming in related to
assume there's connectivity in the stadium.
Yeah.
I saw a question from Rakesh, if there are two fundamentally different methods to develop and integrate in the same way, do they need to be submitted as two applications? I think, again, choose what you think is the best one. I would just, throw all your energy behind what you think is the best idea.
Right. So there's another question coming in from Ajay. He asked about whether we are expecting.
I answered this one earlier. Yeah. So no, we expect you to be developing the product in the lead up to the final. And if you've if it's something you've been working on for a while, that's okay. You don't have to start from scratch.
So there is another question which is coming from Shriramullu. They ask about time series data of few cricket matches for the solution I'm thinking of for performance analysis. Can we get that data from you? So is that something that we can get there for?
Yeah, I think I'm not exactly sure what they're thinking of here, but yeah, I think we'll be able to provide them with something that will help.
So I guess we have covered mostly all of the questions here, which are commonly asked. It's more about fan experiences, data, and all of all of that, but majorly the masses have all come across. Let me quickly skim through once again, and maybe we can answer a few more questions. Go ahead. There's another question from Siddharth. I guess we missed this out previously. Is a ICC specific, app first merchandise commerce platform built with generative AI with a Web3 gaming element works? Digital wearables, accessories in physical or virtual world. How does that sound to you?
I think Siddhartha ticked every buzzword
Yeah.
in current technology landscape. I don't know. You need to convince me. Do your market research. Go and talk to the market. Tell me. Part of your pitch needs to tell me why that would work. I don't come tell you if it will work or not. You convince me.
Right. So it's all about convincing your jury members here in the finale
Yeah.
that sell out that particular product.
You need to do the classic. Set up the problem. Tell us why that's a problem and why you're going to solve it, and there it is. It can't be just here's a solution. Someone keeps asking about the funding opportunity. The funding opportunity is the introduction to venture capitalists amongst the finalists. There isn't any other funding prior. There's no funding directly from the ICC until other than obviously the prize money.
Yeah, we've got a huge prize money this year, which is 20,000 US dollars. So you can always look into that aspect, and the funding remains connections with the angel investors here. Another question that we can answer is how can participants, moreover, I've skimmed through this before. I guess she wants to ask about how participants develop platforms that connect local events. Will that be something that we can expect? Will that be something that we can inculcate? So
Yeah, I
can
guess again, if no one else is doing that now and there's a demand for it, pitch it. But how can participants develop it? That's up to you guys. That's the fun of the project.
sure, let me just quickly check on another few questions. So somebody asked about, I'm not sure what this is. Kindly also throw some light on introduction to pitch power play.
Is that
Is
part
that
of it? I should know. I'm sure.
maybe we can get back to you offline. Just write us on the support email. We can get back to you if that is something related to the hackathon. So we can of course get back to you on the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not.
So yeah,
I'm not quite sure.
maybe we have covered mostly all of the questions here. So repeated questions. So masses we have answered. So if any feedbacks or any advice you would love to give away for all the participants that are watching this, and maybe we will add this video into the resource section for reference FAQs. So you want to address the masses about the hackathon and how can they actually win out of it, and what lies behind this, right? So we can quickly get into those few words from you, and maybe we can wrap up the
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, I think just to reiterate, we're really looking for a product that is going to really, transform the experience, whether it's for cricket fans, cricket players, cricket coaches, parents of kids that play cricket. Look at the market, see what's there, find out what's missing, and propose a solution that will solve that. It doesn't need to be a fully fledged P&L startup. It doesn't need all of that, but it does need to be a product that isn't currently in market and that it's truly innovative. We really believe in this the project. This is not just something nice to have. We're showing that by having the winner of the last solution in our ICC app for the World Cup coming up. I'm personally super invested in this. I can't wait to see all the solutions and all the great ideas you guys have. And best of luck to everyone out there. The Hack to Skill guys are here to help you throughout. And I hope to meet some of you in Mumbai in a little over a month.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for your motivation. Thank you so much for coming up today and taking your time out from your busy schedule during the World Cup that's coming for us. And we would get back to you, all of you, with any FAQs, a document FAQ with all the questions addressed, so that you can take advantage of this session, your feedbacks from and insights from Finn, and we can also get back to you with the data sources so that you can use that to enhance your models, AI models and ML models, and to get back with the solutions to us. And we're really excited to see you guys on the demo day. So look forward, do not miss out any timelines. Keep in check on the website with the upcoming deadlines and the due dates. And we will see you soon on the other side. Thank you so much, Finn, for your time, and we would catch back with you soon.
See you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Calling all cricket enthusiasts with coding prowess. Register for the Next in Hackathon 2.0. A unique opportunity to showcase your skills and get a chance to meet me.